Welcome to this video. I'm going to be talking about FSMO roles. So we have 5 FSMO roles. So we have the schema master, the domain naming master, the RID master, the PDC emulator, and the infrastructure master. So one way we can remember this is to use the acronym DRIPS, which would be domain naming master, D for domain naming master, R for RID master, I for infrastructure master, P for PDC emulator, and S for schema master. So that's one way we can remember them using the acronym DRIPS. Now, what do these roles actually do? What do they even mean? Well, if we start off with D in the acronym DRIPS, the domain naming master, this is the domain controller which can add or remove a domain or application NC from the directory. So that's the first FSMO role. Then we move on to the RID master. This is the single DC responsible, the domain controller responsible for processing the RID pull requests from all domain controllers within a given domain. So this is the guy that's going to manage our RID pull requests. So if you wonder what a RID is, relative identifier, that's what it stands for, relative identifier. Then we move on to, I'm going to move on to infrastructure master, then I'll come back to PDC emulator, just so we're going in order of the acronym. So the infrastructure master, right? The infrastructure master is the domain controller responsible for updating an object SID and the SID and the distinguished name in a cross-domain object reference. I've got another video about infrastructure master. Well, I'll put in the description. So if you want to have a bit more, if you want to look at that a bit more detail, I've got a good diagram which will explain what this does. So yeah, it's responsible for updating an object SID and distinguished name DN in a cross-domain object reference. And the PDC emulator, you really have to have this one. This is the one. This is responsible for time synchronization. So it's very, very important. It's time synchronization. Finally, we've gone to the schema master, which is in charge of performing updates to directory schema. I've got a diagram here of the schema master. So imagine this is the schema master, DC2. And what's happening here is that the DC2 is in charge of performing updates to the directory schemas. As you can see in here, directory updates are happening here, DC1 and DC3. So there we have it. That is the 5 FSMO roles there explained. Thank you for watching.